go. Good morning. Let me just, I figured we could chat about facial because I love giving myself facials. I love it. I love it. So if you're watching me on YouTube, good morning, Kat. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so. All right, so hi, Tracy. I haven't been taking very good care of myself. I've just been floating along. So this is coconut oil. Oh, coconut oil. Coconut oil will dissolve all makeup. Dissolves everything. If you think you need to buy some sort of expensive makeup remover, you don't. Some coconut oil will do it. Haven't been washing my face, haven't been taking care of my skin. I'm seeing that I am looking very, very thrashed. So, how's everyone doing? Gosh, that's looking kind of deep. Okay. All right, don't freak out, girl. We're gonna fix that. We're gonna fix that. Eating a lot of salt, just some craziness. Yesterday was that 333 portal. Okay. Yesterday was the 333 portal. A lot of people experienced quite a bit of emotional rawness. A lot of people. And here's the thing. I don't believe that just because you experience emotional rawness that you're somehow weak or there's something wrong with you. In fact, I think it's quite the opposite. So what I like to do is take whatever mask I feel like using, and I'll use any mask. I don't care. I prefer things with clay just because I like to detox as much as possible. But what I do, I took a clump of coconut oil. I add oil to my masks because I have dry skin. So if you have oily skin or acne-prone skin, I would definitely add raw apple cider vinegar. It acts as a toner. But what I like to do for all of my masks, this is my little trick, okay? I take cheap-ass espresso coffee, ground coffee, and I add it to the mask. The caffeine in the coffee will help to tighten your skin. And it also helps to exfoliate. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to tighten our skin, exfoliate, shrink your pores. If you exfoliate regularly with coffee grounds, and it doesn't have to be fresh, I use fresh because I'm going to maximize the amount of caffeine. It can be used coffee grounds if you want to just, if you're not too focused on the caffeine content, you just be coffee grounds that were already brewed. But I like to use it fresh because, like I said, I'm a bit of an extremist. I like when I put caffeine on my face, for my face to start zinging. It doesn't zing. I'm just messing around. But yeah, I figured I'd do some self-care while I go live and we go talk about whatever the heck you guys want to talk about. I had the most profound conversation last night on Insta. I went live on Insta and Adrian asked a question. I wish I could download that live before it deletes. But Adrian asked a question and it just totally sparked some of the most profound conversation. Seriously profound conversation. And I like to make this as even as possible. All right. And I just leave it on. Okay. So yeah, how often do I do my masks? A couple times a week, maybe like 2 or 3 times. It depends what type of mask it is. You don't want to overly exfoliate because you'll damage your skin. But if you do like 2 or 3 times a week, you could do those sheet masks every day if you want, but only if you want. Anything moisturizing if your skin is dry is amazing. Hyaluronic acid is the shit. I'm telling you. Hyaluronic. Anything with hyaluronic will moisturize the shit out of your face. Anyways, yeah, it was such a profound conversation. It had to do with like, what do you say to someone who comes to you and they're suicidal? And I was just like, well, first off, I'm not trained to handle talking someone down from suicide. I just don't know how you do that professionally. That's not my forte. And I began talking about how, like, you know, you just can't stop someone. If they really, really want to, at some point, they'll figure out a way how to. And just acknowledging that you have that power. No one else can stop you. No one can stop you. You have that power, and all I ask is that you explain to me while you're still able why I wasn't able to help you. You know, because when you're gone, if you do succeed and you do leave, I'm going to need to deal with the fact that I'm going to feel like I failed you. I'm going to feel like I should have been able to save you from yourself, and that I wasn't able to. So please love me enough to help me understand, help me to wrap my brain around it before you actually leave so that I can cope. And it was such a profound conversation. And it just goes back to this fact that most people who consider suicide as a legitimate option for life solutions, they feel very unheard. They feel misunderstood. They feel unaccepted. And telling them that they're coping with life wrong, that they're selfish, all that does is serve as confirmation for the things they're already feeling about themselves, that they hurt the people they love. And when you confirm that, when you confirm for someone, when you confirm for them that all they do is fuck up, you confirm for them their proposed solution. And I mean, unless that's something you're intending to do, I would definitely reconsider. I would reconsider. One of the most powerful things you can do for someone who is suicidal is to just sit there with them quietly. No advice, no nothing. Just sit quietly. Let them know they aren't alone, that they aren't being judged, that whether you understand them or not, you need their presence still. There's something about them that you still need in your life, in your journey, and that it's just you trying to understand. Just trying to understand. Like, I don't understand. Please help me to understand. Not the, I don't get you. I don't understand why you're acting so stupid. Like, they already say those things to themselves. Trust me, they do. They already say those types of things to themselves. They already cut themselves down every single day. They don't need your help cutting themselves down. Because if they did need that, they wouldn't be at their lowest already. Okay? It's a demonic attack? Not always. Not always. We have to take accountability for our journey. You know what I'm saying? We can't always say, it's the demons, it's the demons. Demons can't do anything to you that isn't already pre-existing. They can't create a circumstance that isn't already pre-existing. They can exacerbate it, but they can't create it. They are not God. You know what I'm saying? You are the Godhead of your existence. You are your God. You are a lower reflection of divinity. And so, because of that, you are co-creating your life existence. All of your experiences in life, you are co-creating that. Now, when I say co-creating, if you already have the potentiality, then yeah, a demon will take advantage of that. Because all demons can do is take advantage. They can't create a circumstance that's not already pre-existing. We have to be accountable for our decisions. We really, really do. The work that I do, a lot of people are like, oh, my boyfriend's cheating on me. Well, not a lot. There's been a few. My boyfriend's cheating on me. Does he have a demon? Yeah, but he's a cheater. He's a cheater. My boyfriend hurts me. He roughs me up. Is it because of a demon? Well, the demon encourages him, but he's a batterer. That's how he copes. He batters. That's not a demon doing it. He batters. This is part of his characteristic. Now, it might be something that he considers but wouldn't actually act upon if it wasn't for a demon really encouraging him to do it. But that's already in his character. That's in his character, you know? Exactly. D. Cadra says, I love you, Desi, by the way. I'm so proud of you. Says, we serve as a point of attraction for these things to be drawn to us. Absolutely. Absolutely. They're drawn to the parts of us that they can manipulate and amplify. If you're naturally a peaceful person, they're just not going to be able to convince you to become violent in that way. They just can't. That's creating something. And because demons have refused to acknowledge they are a fractal of God, they have given up their right to co-create in that way. Demons can't do that to you. Let's see. Right. Catherine says, yes, I always take full responsibility that I caused for myself. I was very lost and lonely. That was my decision to stay in that state until I was ready. Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, honestly, sometimes it becomes important for us to recognize that demonic presence can actually gift us with profound growth. Of course, through dark methods, methods that, I mean, would I really opt for that? Probably not. Probably not. But sometimes when you're hurting so badly, you don't recognize that there are other options, and that's okay. That's okay. This is part of the learning process. This is absolutely part of the learning process. And that's what we have to recognize. Life is about learning. It's about learning how to return back to a state of love. And love is not just cuddles. Love is not just being a cheerleader and, you know, hey, I'm proud of you. And, you know, sometimes love has to grab you by the shoulders and shake some sense into you. Sometimes Love has to destroy you so that you get the potentiality to rebuild yourself into something even greater than what you were previously. Love is so multifaceted. It's on so many different dimensions, so many different layers, so many ways it can be expressed. Omni love is true love, and true love is both the receiving and the giving. So sometimes love can mean pain because pain is growth. Does that mean you have an excuse to intentionally hurt someone? No, you don't. That's not okay. That is a misuse of your free will. Let me see. But can they use passive aggression to their advantage? Do you mean demonic beings? Yes, absolutely. They'll use whatever they can to their advantage. Demonic beings believe they're separate from God. They wholeheartedly believe that they have been separated from God. And when you are separated from that divinity, you then begin to exist in a state of lacking. When you feel like you lack the ability to maintain life indefinitely, you will then begin to seek a food source. That's why many of us are afraid to fast. We're like, oh my God, something bad's going to happen to us. We need to eat. We need to eat. That's a demonic mindset. To me, saying demonic is not necessarily derogatory, but it's a demonic-based mindset. It's fear-based. Nothing bad's going to happen to you unless you have a pre-existing medical condition that prevents you from fasting. What bad is going to happen to you? Nothing. You're afraid to digest the very things within your vessel that have not been digested. When you fast for a prolonged period, after a certain amount of time, the halt in the digestive process allows the body to then focus on the very things, the healing, the internal healing that it hasn't been able to do because it's been so preoccupied with a very complex process of digestion. So when you fast for a prolonged period, and I'm not going to tell you guys the date because you have to research this for yourself, for a certain amount of time, after a certain amount of time, your body will then begin to seek out scar tissue and digest it. It'll break it down. It'll metabolize it. Things that have been stored and need to be processed begin to get processed. You begin to heal. So we're so afraid of being in a state of lacking, not recognizing that our fear comes from a state of lacking, a mindset of lacking. If you know that your needs will always be taken care of, all of these fears simply dissolve. Just like that scar tissue, it just simply goes away. It dissolves. It really, really dissolves. And there's nothing that you need to fear in this life except fear yourself. What if you lack discipline? What if that's an illusion? What is your perception of discipline? Someone else's concept? What if discipline involves the questioning of the process so that you can fully comprehend what it is you're getting yourself into? What if that concept of discipline is actually nothing more than a finger in the hand of control? And you're attempting to control things that are not to be controlled, but rather they're to be experienced. On a soul level, you're supposed to be experiencing these things. You know, like, what is discipline? What is the definition of discipline? Let's see. Let's look this up. Discipline reminds me of the word disciple. What did the disciples do aside from follow? My laptop is running too low. Okay, I'm going to have to wait a while for that page to, but here's the thing. So some people think that the word discipline comes from, like, you have to punish, you have to correct. the truth is, the word discipline comes from the term to teach. That's the original meaning, to teach. Now, when you punish yourself, are you teaching yourself? No, you're punishing yourself. There's a huge difference. There's a huge, okay, thank you, Mandrea. My freaking thing is still not loaded. It doesn't have anything in the, to punish or correct disobedience. Now, what are you correcting? What type of disobedience are you correcting? You know, are you being disobedient to the monkey mind, which is really just in its toddlerhood? It's in its toddlerhood of comprehension. Or are you being disobedient to the needs of soul? Maybe the needs of soul are not in alignment with the wants of the monkey mind, and that's why you're disobeying. That's why you're being disobedient. Oh my, Norvell. I hope that circumstance resolves itself. I'm so sorry, Narelle. So, Mondrea says being able to stick to fasting. Now, here's the thing. What if you're not needing to fast and you're trying to force yourself to fast? You're supposed to listen to the needs, not try and force yourself. Because again, that's, so maybe if I explain it in this way. For many years, I believed wholeheartedly that veganism is the most spiritual practice. That if you consume the flesh of another living being, that is a violation of the soul. And I believe this wholeheartedly. I was vegan for about 6 years, maybe closer to 7. But for about 6 years, I was a vegan. Very staunch vegan. And I made myself very sick. Because although my body couldn't maintain the veganism, and I had no problem being vegan. You know, this is coming from someone who once had struggles with anorexia. I have no problem not eating, like none, like at all. And yeah, it was like, okay, so if I don't have anything that's completely vegan to eat, then I just won't eat. I would rather starve than eat another living being, eat a product that caused the suffering of another living being. And I made myself so sick because of the fact that I wasn't listening to the needs of my body. I wasn't following the direction of soul. I had it within my mind that veganism is the only way to be, that anything outside of veganism is very unspiritual. And that was just so far from the truth. So far from the truth. I nearly suffered organ damage. I was so deficient in so many things. And when I was vegan, I didn't just eat vegan junk food, because there are vegans who do that. That's not healthy either. But I ate nothing but fresh food. I took supplements. I worked out, and I had never in my life been as unhealthy as I was then. And I couldn't understand it. Well, because my body's not compatible. What if your body's not compatible with what you're trying to force it to do? That's the behavior of a toddler mind. Trying to force yourself to fit in spaces that were never designed to be occupied. Not by something as great as you. Trying to fit in nice, neat little boxes. The soul was never meant to be contained. And even in a body, it's contained, but momentarily. A lifetime, no matter how long you live, is momentary compared to the longevity of a soul. I mean, immortality versus like what? 100 years is a long time to be alive. Do you see? It's just a flash in the pan, just like that. Let's see. Yeah, here's the thing. Because Mandrea wrote, I dislike when people teach that being vegan is the only way to be a high vibrational being. Um, High vibration is actually low frequency. If you look at the oscillation rate, which if you study things like unified field physics, Kilanta, Kathara, they will explain the truth of this. When you have a high frequency, you have a higher and elevated level of dimensional consciousness. When you have high vibration, by virtue of the laws of unified field physics, you then lower the oscillation rate, you lower your frequency, you drop down in dimensional consciousness. Level of awareness, your ability to comprehend on a soul level is decreased. So those who believe veganism is the only way to reach a high vibration are actually right. They're high vibration, meaning low frequency. They need to be vegan. I'm serious. The people who harass others about veganism, they need to be vegan. They should be vegan, because in that veganism, you don't have too many grounding foods. Most of the foods are not going to ground you. I mean, there's a few options, but most of the foods will not ground you. So it'll help raise your frequency. And as long as you feel the need to preach that everyone else is going to burn in hell for consuming animal products, you need to remain vegan. You need to raise that frequency, because your dimensional level of understanding is just not up to snuff. I'm sorry. It's just not up to snuff. And it's not a competition, but I am here to help you understand what you're doing is not spiritual. Now, veganism is not wrong. Some people would actually benefit from veganism. I've taught a course a few times, Whole Being Wellness. It talks about eating for your frequency. If you are low frequency, veganism is beautiful for you. It will raise your frequency very fast. But unless you're ready to open your heart to the potentiality that we all have different needs, there's no cookie cutter approach, then you will always have to maintain that vegan diet in order to maintain that level of frequency, dimensional frequency, dimensional consciousness. The lower the dimensional consciousness, the less you can understand. And that's why I don't feel like people should get mad that some are like so combative when it comes to that. Like, they need to be vegan. They don't understand yet that as you ascend, you don't necessarily have to remain vegan. Now, should you consume products that come from factory farming? No. The way those animals are treated is just not okay. It's not okay. Now, are First Nations people evil and going to burn in hell because they consume meat? That's part of their heritage, hunting and processing what is needed. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. So that there's a lot of factors that people need to consider before they start, making all these blanket statements. Like, and I used to be one of them. I'm not going to judge people who fail to realize we're all different. We all have differing needs. Some people can't sustain veganism. And let me just say this. What's spiritual about causing one animal to suffer in order to save another animal? This body is an animal. It's an animal. We are part of the mammalian group. We are part of the animal kingdom. That's what humanity fails to take into consideration. We are animals. We're animals. What is so spiritual about saving a cow and punishing this animal? And if your body can't sustain veganism, that's what you're doing. Is it okay to butcher a cow but not a dog? And to some of us, because of culture-based perceptions, it's like, oh my God, no, you cannot butcher a dog. A cow is for food, that's beef. Well, in some cultures, cows are sacred. In other cultures, dogs are meat. I mean, granted, I've never eaten a dog. I don't think I ever can. But who am I to say one culture is more right or less right than another? Right? Let's see. Whole Foods is a scam. Please be aware. Yeah, I would have to agree. I would have to agree. So, I mean, it's what's right for one person is not necessarily right for another. For some, veganism is right for them. I'm in full support of veganism. If I could sustain it physiologically, I would still be a vegan. I'm going to be completely honest. I would still be a vegan. See, LaShawn knows. She goes, I'm vegan. I choose to do so because I can't digest the meat. I don't judge anyone who is not. I get made fun of for it, but I don't give a shit. You know what? When I was vegan, people used to talk so much shit to me. I was just like, what does my food preference have to do with you? We'd go eat out and friends were like, why are you a vegan? What's the matter to you? Am I trying to force you to share my food preferences? I don't want to eat flesh. That's why I'm vegan. And they used to get really testy. And I'm just like, just eat your food. Shut your mouth and eat your food. What I eat has nothing to do with you. Yeah. I mean, do what is necessary for you. What helps you to be healthy. Not what you think makes you superior to other people. And that, unfortunately, sometimes that's the driving factor for some people. Not all. And what ends up happening is those people who are like that end up becoming the face for veganism. And it's like, no. Many of the people that I know who are vegan are such beautiful souls who don't attempt to dominate the food preferences of others. There are so many vegans that are very, very peaceful and don't share that they're vegan because it's become a stigma. Because of the few who attempt to dominate, and those few really need to stay vegan. They need to raise their level of dimensional frequency because that's just insane. I had someone try and attack me, use his audience to try and bash me because I said this. And get the fuck out of here. I ain't scared of you or your audience. I don't give a shit how many times your videos have been watched. Fact is, you're not going to tell me what the fuck to eat or what not to eat, or that I'm a horrible person or that I'm not spiritual. Until you've lost count of how many people you've helped with no expectations of anything in return, not even a thank you, do not speak to me about spiritualism. Do not speak to me about the hierarchy of the soul. Because the shit you're trying to argue about is lower rung shit. Now, if you want to debate with me as we feed those who are starving, both physiologically and on a soul level, then we can. But until you've lost count, as a matter of fact, until you recognize you should not be keeping count of the number of people that you help, until it becomes an ingrained part of your psyche to help when you can and look for ways to help when you can't. Do not preach to me about spirituality. That's just all I gotta say about that. Ooh, look at that. Mm-hmm. Because it's oftentimes the people. Oh my God, I got coffee up my nose. Oftentimes it's the people who are so far from their own spiritual selves that try and dominate the spiritual path of others. Because let's face it, when you try and dominate someone else's spiritual path, it's usually because you don't want others to recognize what on some level you're already recognizing about yourself, that you are failing yourself in a spiritual way, that you haven't been progressing in the way that your soul has been asking you to. And what better way to avoid that fact than to put the focus on someone else? I mean, that's how I see it. I'm too busy holding myself accountable for the fuckery that I participate in to ever waste my time being concerned with someone else's journey. Now, if you come to me asking me for help with your journey, that's one thing. But for me to go out of my way to concern myself with your journey when you're not asking me to be a part of it, that's a whole nother thing. Get the hell out of here. That's a violation of your sovereignty. That's just a violation of sovereignty. And I take that very serious. Very, very serious. It's so easy for people to misconstrue the reality of things. And let me tell you this. It's very easy to build a following. If you understand the recipe of drama, people like drama. If you're consistently talking shit about other people, starting shit with other people, you'll have a following. A following of those who have lost themselves and want to continue the paradigm of suffering. Now, when you begin to sit in the authenticity, the light of your authenticity, the light of your truth, you cease to want a following, okay? When you cease to want a following, you then begin to find your soul family. I don't have a following. I have souls who find me because in that moment, they need something that I'm offering. Whether it's a kind word, whether it's a laugh, whether it's a moment of just sharing space together to remember that you are a part of divinity, whatever it is, welcome home. And when you're ready to go back on your trip and explore life a little further, and you need to have space from me, enjoy your trip. And if you never come back, you're still loved. Even from a distance, you're still loved because you're my soul family. I don't have followers. And people be like, oh, I don't have an audience. What are you talking about? I am a stay-at-home mother that speaks to souls who are ready to listen. I have souls that share space with me. That's what I have. All right. Doop, 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 doop. All right. I don't know if I have enough. Let's see. Come on, just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. This stuff is amazing. Okay. Hold on, guys. But yeah. So that's the truth of social media. That is the truth of social media. Oh, thank you. Christopher Hoffman said, as I opened up, you were an influence on me on how to conduct myself in integrity. Oh, that is amazing. Thank you. Thank you. April Dawn is on YouTube. Let me see. So Facebook has a habit of just hiding all the comments. Oh my gosh, Cheryl. Yes, neck care. Oh my God. My neck needs some care. But yeah, I'm so tired of all the BS. I'm just so tired of it. I just want to exist and experience and feel and share of my journey with people who are wanting to share. And for those who are done sharing space with me, thank you for your part of my growth. And I hope you continue to grow even without me. You know, I'm not interested in any of that. I'm only interested in sharing space with you for as long as it suits your needs and your heart. I've never been one to cling to people. Never. You want to walk away? All right. Okay. Well, it was fun. It was definitely fun. Okay. Now for the moisturizer. Janine. She says the best thing you can give someone is your time, and the time you give us is greatly appreciated. Now I'm really going to cry. I'm really going to cry. Hold up. Let me moisturize my face first. Paying attention is such a sacred act. You are paying an energy. It's such a sacred act. Whatever you pay attention to, you are giving them your energy. So, what are you buying into? Are you buying into drama? Are you buying into people being nasty to each other? And I'm a human being, okay? I get in my moods. People get disrespectful. I'll get shitty too, if I feel like it. And I used to come from this frame of mind where it's like, I totally used to be like a Stepford wife. I'm not even joking. And this was most of my life, okay? Where you have to be very meticulously groomed, both in appearance and character. People are always watching. Be proper. And then I recognized what's more important? Putting on a show or showing your truth? What's more important? What do people need from you? What do people really need from you? Do they need to see this carefully orchestrated show? Or do they just need you to get real? Get really real. And then I recognize I'm not even being real with myself. Like, you're just sitting there smiling. Okay. And they're disrespecting you to your core. And then if I would say something back, if I would make it clear I'm not going to tolerate your disrespect, I'd feel so much shame afterwards. Like, so much shame afterwards. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I let them see me like that. And then I got to a point where it's like, you know what, you're a fucking asshole. You needed to see me like that because I'm the love, remember? Sometimes love requires you to be broken down because you've constructed a house of cards that's occupying space, sovereign space, where a temple should be built. So I'm gonna knock your house of cards down. I'm gonna knock it down for you. Take you down a couple pegs so you can understand. I'm a reflection of you. And this is what I had to understand about myself, because some people would be like, you are so sweet. You are the sweetest person I have ever met. And then other people be like, she's a bitch. Well, yeah, I'm both. Which one are you asking to come forward? Which one are you inviting to play? And then I got to a point where it was like, okay, yeah, that's true and everything. That's true. True that. But Emmy, you're a sovereign. You're a sovereign. No one should be dictating which fractal of you comes out to play. You dictate that. You decide. Are you going to simply react, giving your power passively to someone else, giving them the authority over you to dictate how you're going to conduct yourself? Or are you going to respond? Take your power back and choose how you will respond to the circumstance or the individual. And so now I'm kind of in that frame of mind where it's like, it's more than responding. I mean, it's more than reacting, it's responding. Like right now, do I need to be your mirror, or do I need to show you a greater way of being? What do I need right now? Do I need to show you A, or do I need to show you B? How is this going to grow me? How is me cutting you down going to grow me? Yesterday, I was live on Instagram, and it was a beautiful discussion, like I was saying, and a troll guy comes on. He comes on and he asks me to flash the camera. Okay, you want me to flash? You didn't specify. So I flashed on him. And I told him oh yes, can I have my usual? I just saw my husband offered coffee. May I please? I flashed on him and I told him what a disgrace to his family he is. And he stands as a public representation of his family and his mother's inability to teach him how to respect a goddess. And his lack of respect for feminine power is such a disgrace. He goes, LOL, just kidding. No, motherfucker, you just embarrassed your mom. You made your family look like a bunch of pigs. I don't think so. And Frey was like, do I need to block people? And I was like, I ain't even mad. You asked me to flash, so I did. Careful what you ask for. You got to specify. Okay? You got to specify. And so that's how that went. He didn't say anything else after that. I didn't even get to block him. I was like, I'm reporting this comment. Pornography. I'm reporting that comment and this. And I ran out of comments to report. Apparently, when you report it during the live, it deletes it. And then I was like, God damn it. I didn't even get to block him. All the comments got deleted before I could block him. God, I should have stopped at one report. Just so I could see what his name is so I can block him. But yeah, no, I mean, do you have to stay silent in the face of something like that level of disrespect? Do you have to stay silent? That depends. What does your heart tell you? In that moment, my heart told me, you are establishing a presence on another platform. Motherfuckers need to know from the start. Mama will spank your ass in front of your friends. I don't spank my kids, but I will spank your ass in front of your friends. You're going to come at me like a child, I will be a mother to you, and I will correct your ass. Learn manners. Stop embarrassing your mother. I'm pretty sure she taught you more than that. So that's all I got to say about that. That's all I got to say about that. Your mother didn't know how to mother you? Well, you done walked all up into the space of Mama Bear #1 right here. Right. Demon whore. No, I'm just messing around when I say demon whore. But Yeah, no, it's time that we begin really exploring who we are to ourselves, who we are to other people, and just embracing that. You're so much more than what you think you are. You're so much more than what you think you are. You're not just one thing. You're such a multifaceted, multidimensional being. And limiting yourself to one thing is not of service to you or humanity. It really, really isn't. And I think maybe that's one of the most powerful things that I could do as someone who is being observed incessantly. And I'm not talking about the people who support me. I'm talking about people who don't support me and are looking for a way, a reason to tear me down. I will own every single decision I make in this life. You will not use me and my learning against me. I will own every single last stupid thing that I do. And I have no problem speaking about it publicly. And that's why it's very, very difficult to tear me down. It's very, very difficult to destroy me and my character publicly because you know what? I'm just a girl walking myself home. Sometimes I trip. Sometimes I need to have a seat. Sometimes I want to run. And all of that is okay. All of that is okay. And this applies to everyone. You're already perfectly you. It's in that trying to be perfectly something else that isn't who you organically are that you get caught up in all kind of bullshit and people will attempt to tear you down. They will. Because that's the system we exist within. That's the paradigm. That's what it was designed to do. To encourage others to tear others down. Well, shit, thank you for tearing me down. That's a part of me that needed to be fucking torn down. Tear it down. Tear it down. That's a part of my ego that needed to be torn down. So thank you for assisting me with that. I'm not so attached to all of these little bells and whistles that you're going to destroy me by removing the unnecessary. So tear it down. Please do. But at the end of the day, no, all you did was help me. You removed yet another layer of weight that I was carrying unnecessarily. And because of you, because of your efforts to tear me down, I continue to rise. And if you guys embrace this about your journey, because that's actually the truth of it, everything they tear down from you, everything they take away, it causes you to lighten your load and accelerates your rise. But if you cling to it, if you're going to fight with them and try and cling to it, tug of war, how are you ever going to rise? There is nothing within me that I need on this journey that you could ever take away. My integrity, my self-empowerment, my self-love. When you determine your own worth, they can't take any of that away. My worth is not contingent on people's understanding of me, people's acceptance of me. And one of the most beautiful things I recognize, it's one of the most beautiful things I've recognized, and I'm sure a lot of you can absolutely resonate with this. I have never been accepted my entire life. I have always been on the fringes of every single group, no matter how much they try and embrace me and bring me into the fold, make me feel like part of the group. I have never felt accepted, never felt understood. And that is one of the greatest gifts my soul has ever given me in this life. That was all pre-planned. And that was the most beautifully empowering detail of my life. From infancy until now, I have never felt fully understood, fully accepted. And because of that, I don't need to be understood. I don't need to be accepted. That is my norm. That is my norm. That is what I know. So if you come to me and you don't accept me, you don't understand me, well, okay. Okay. Did you need me to explain something to help you understand? You don't have to understand. I'm okay with that. You don't have to accept me. There's so many other people in this world that you can go ahead and accept, and I'm okay with that. I'm absolutely fine with that. It doesn't hurt me at all. It doesn't hurt me. I believe what I believe. I have no problem with solitude because most of my life I've experienced solitude. I'm not afraid to be my only company. And to be honest, that's probably one of the most powerful things about me and my journey is that I'm not afraid to look myself in the mirror, really look at who I am. I'm not afraid to keep myself company. I don't need distractions of other people so that I don't look at who I am. I still don't fully know exactly who I am because I'm consistently changing. But no matter what I change into, I know it's going to be something beautiful. I know it's going to be yet another indicator of me growing because I understand at the core of me, I know my heart. I would never hurt anyone intentionally. I will always go out of my way to help. I'm not a bad person. Whether people understand that about me or not, whether they believe that about me or not, is irrelevant. I know my truth. I am not a bad person. And if you do this work, this internal work, to understand this about yourself, how powerful do you become? How free are you? How free are you? That was the most freeing thing I could ever do because, again, I've lived such an insane life. Like, even as a child, having nothing but brothers who were harsh. I do something they don't want. I don't do something they want me to do. Immediately, you're such a bitch. Okay, well, fine. I'm a bitch. I don't give a fuck. Do that shit yourself. If I'm such a bitch, do it yourself. Good. Then why are you expecting me to do it for you? If I'm such a bitch, do it yourself. Why are you mad that I'm not doing it for you? And instead of breaking me down, all it did was put on another layer of armor. And at the core, I'm still who I am, a good person. Someone who would never intentionally harm another and who would always go out of their way to help when they can. Always. And for a time, a very short period, I considered, you know what, am I just being stupid? Trying to help people? That's such a weakness. And actually, it's not. It's defiance. Staying defiantly soft in such a harsh reality is a sign of strength. And I am recognizing that more and more every day. It's such a sign of strength to be able to have the capability to destroy someone else publicly, however you want to do it, to have the capability of being able to destroy another person, recognizing that and still choosing not to. Only the truly strong are capable of that. Only the truly strong, only those who are evolved enough are capable of doing that. It's so easy to tear other people down. It's so easy to attack other people, to attack what you don't understand. But to be able to sit there and be like, you know what, I don't understand you. Let me take a moment. Let me pause. Where's this coming from? What is this person talking about? Why am I hearing this right now? How is this supposed to grow me? Because everything that comes across your path, everything placed before you on your spiritual path is put there for a reason. And if you can figure out why, what that thing or that person or that circumstance is attempting to teach you, you can avoid that harsh lesson altogether. It's like the cliff notes of life. You don't have to suffer. Suffering is optional. Okay? So if you can figure that out, That's a place of power. That's a place of power. Don't you become drained for helping others without the exchange of energy. Now, what if they already paid you in energy previous to this life? What if the root causation extends beyond this life? Because if you go back far enough, the causation will always be found. Cause and effect. That is a law of creation. Cause and effect. It is a law of alchemy. If you go back far enough, you will always find the causation for every single effect. And sometimes the causation predates this life. Sometimes it predates this life. I have relationships with individuals that have gone sour, and when you go back far enough, oh, that's because your bitch ass tried to kill me in that life. You still trying, motherfucker. So many lives later. We're not even the same species anymore. You still trying this shit. Well, then that's just you. I'm not going to participate in that. You didn't win last time. You're not going to do it again this time. I'm sorry. Get the fuck out of here. I'm just saying. Sometimes that's what ends up happening. And that's okay. That's okay. Right. Sarah says, I believe everything happens for a reason. I just don't always know what that reason is. See, April, she says, I was the one that got picked on, but when I saw someone else getting picked on, I would jump in and defend. I have no problem letting people pick on me. I'm just like, whatever. You're so stupid. Whatever. But if I see you picking on someone else, good luck with that shit. If I catch you picking on someone else, especially someone who can't defend themselves, good luck with that shit. Good luck with that. Because for some reason, it's 8:44 here, Steph. For some reason, I've adopted every single living thing. Like my heart has adopted every single living thing. So if you're going to try and pick on one of my children, you're about to find out what kind of mother I am. I don't know if you want that. I don't know if you want that. I'm the kind of mother that when my then 5-year-old got in trouble at school because someone hit him and then put their finger in his mouth, so he bit them. He was like, you need to call my mom. She's going to talk to you. And so when I went to go pick him up, he comes up to me, he goes, you need to talk to the teacher. And I'm like, why? And my child's very peaceful. He's very, very peaceful. And the teacher's like, oh, he bit another child. I'm like, well, what did the other child do to make him do that? And the teacher was like, he bit the other child's finger. Why is the other child's finger in my child's mouth? And then my son comes up. I told you, my mom's going to talk to you. Yes, boo-boo. I'm going to talk to them. Why is another child's finger in my child's mouth? Oh, my gosh. So, yeah. April, I can relate. I can hashtag relatable. Hashtag. She says, yeah, even I'm like, are you sure you want me to let her out? That's my line. Are you sure you want to do this with me? That's the only disclaimer you get. Are you sure you want to do this with me? Because once I start, it's not going to stop. There's no tapping out. This is not MMA. This is life. There is no tapping out. So you sure we want to start this? Hard to not let people get you triggered. That's my problem. So what if we recognize a trigger is attached to a gun, a weapon? What if we recognize that weapons are what are used in war? to fight? What if we see that we're not in a war? That we are not a weapon. Instead, we're an instrument to build, to reconstruct, to fortify. And what if the parts of you that get triggered by whatever it is are the parts of you that are needing healing? In that moment, that circumstance or that individual is gifting you with a potentiality to recognize that this part of you, internal part, is being expressed externally, an external reflection of an internal circumstance, so that you can dive deep into yourself to heal that. Because that's what I realized about my triggers. You know, they're triggering an acknowledgement of something inside me that still needs to be healed. When I find myself being triggered, I'm like, okay, what about this has to do with me? What about this has to do with my growth? In what way am I ignoring a need? What need is it that I need to address? And when I begin to have these conversations with myself, the other person's power over me, their power to get me to react in a way that they dictate, it's dissolved. It's absolutely dissolved. Steph says, I feel like every day you give me a message, but today has me written all over it. Caught me before embracing the world in negative 12-degree weather. Well, now you have all this internal warmth to get you through the day. Not just to get you through that weather, but to get you through that cold circumstance that's enveloped you for much of your life. I want you to remember, Steph, you've been living in an emotional winter, and that winter could not break you. It couldn't. Not even as a child, it couldn't break you, and as it sure as hell is not going to break you as an adult coming into your power. You can't be broken. And sometimes it's important to recognize wounds create the potentiality for scar tissue. Scar tissue is the strongest tissue in the body. And if you're so heavily wounded, then you are also heavily fortified. Scar tissue serves as fortification, so that area will not be injured again. So as much as you are wounded, you are equally fortified. Take that out with you into that negative 12-degree weather. I'm going to sit here and sip my coffee, start my day. Thank you guys so much for joining me and letting me kind of just rant while I fix my face, clean my skin, moisturize. And I got to start my day. I got to start my sessions. Thank you guys. It really means a lot that you spend this time with me and just are open to my thoughts. It truly, truly honors me. So thank you. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so. If this video resonated with you, give it a thumbs up, bend it back. Thumbs up, bend it back. And if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. I try and go on Facebook and YouTube as often as I can. Wait, what? I sound like a Sagittarius? I don't know how to take that. I'm assuming that's a compliment. And I'm going to say thank you. I'm learning how to take compliments, so I'm just going to say thank you. Thank you, Em. All right, I'm going to call it a day. Bye, Facebook, YouTube. I'm going to end you next. Let's see. Facebook don't even want to be ended. That's fine. Stay live, Facebook. Stay live. All right, YouTube. Bye. Or maybe not. Okay. Bye, guys.